Sprout, formerly PBS Kids. Sprout was introduced in 2005 as a video-on-demand service for even younger children, though it got a TV channel later. Sprout was operated by well-known companies networks, including PBS and Comcast. Comcast bought NBC Universal in 2012, enabling them to get full control of the brand. Not to mention, they even acquired PBS's share of Sprout. So that means Comcast and NBC Universal made new children's blocks called NBC Kids on NBC and Me Telemundo on Telemundo, respectively. These two children's blocks were aired Saturday mornings and served as a replacement for the Cubo blocks that used to air on both NBC and Telemundo. If you want to find out more about the rise and fall of that particular network, I suggest you check out the history of Cubo. NBC Kids ran from 2012 to 2016 and was replaced with a new educational block for preteens called The More You Know. Me Telemundo moved on from preschool programming in 2017. In fall 2015, Sprout received a refresh. In 2017, NBC Universal rebranded Sprout as Universal Kids. It now includes programming for kids and teens, original content, and acquired shows. Not to mention content from DreamWorks Animation, who Universal purchased in 2016. This particular change seemed to negatively impact the channel's viewership. Universal Kids decreased 30% in 2017, and a whopping 73% in 2018. 1 year later, Universal Kids suspended production of original shows, and continued to focus on acquired content. Unfortunately, in 2019, they were the lowest viewed children's channel in America, with only 31,000 viewers per day during prime time. Now for 2025, since this particular children's network officially became a failure, Universal Kids announced that they will end operations in March of the year. Good news, we can still see these kinds of interesting programs from Universal Kids on other sources like YouTube, Peacock, and Hulu. Here's why most people are not familiar with Universal Kids. I think this is because of the brand change. Despite their kind of interesting programming, Universal Kids has fallen from its prime in recent years. Even though it was the same channel, this particular brand is what made people turn away from the network. It would have been more successful if Universal Kids slowed the transition down and made a separate intermediary brand called Universal Sprout, or something like that. I'll remember the glory days of Sprout, even back when it was a combination of PBS Kids and other kids channels that I also remember at childhood. I also remember catching a glimpse of the Sprout Parade float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade several years ago.
Now, before I end this video, just want you to know that I uploaded this video in light of the recent news of the closure of Universal Kids. I'd also like you to know that I got the Rod text-to-speech voice to pronounce the channel names correctly. By replacing the Q in Cubo with a C at the beginning. And had to put a space between me and Telemundo. In order to get it to pronounce it right, but anyway, you get the idea. But at least those speech voices sound pretty convincing. Because in my opinion, since NBC Universal rebranded Sprout as Universal Kids, it just wasn't the same for me, you know. Despite their kind of interesting program, this so-called rebrand is what made people turn away from the network. So that's why most people are not familiar with Universal Kids. And sorry if I'm copying Medora Entertainment, but I will have to give them credit for this one. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned.